Residents say no more to squatters galore. Georgia lawmakers are proposing a bill that would make squatting a clear criminal offense. A whopping 1,200 homes in Atlanta have been taken over by uninvited guests. One property got turned into a covert strip club, complete with weekend parties and even live horses. Horses. Homeowners in St. Louis are suing the city over sidewalk squatters on their property and asking to remove them, just like they did when Kamala came to town.
Filth everywhere, it smells, it's disgusting. It makes the front of their house unusable. If they have a lovely front porch, they can't use it.
When Kamala Harris came, they cleaned them all out of home base, City Hall. So they absolutely have the power to move people out.
Charlie, a strip club with horses, I wouldn't ask for a lap dance. Could die.
Really? I would think that you would. I would think it would be the first thing you would ask for when you
What
walk
if the horse
in there.
asked?
Oh, well.
Yeah. No, and of course, you look at like parks where you see most of these parks, a lot of these parks are made for children. And the idea that children have to play in, among needles, among weapons, among all this disgusting stuff, all the remnants of people who are squatting, it's absolutely disgusting. And it is a reminder that, and when they clean it up for somebody like Kamala Harris and they make it like, it turns it into some issue about a photo op. Well, this is not about a photo op. This is about actually living and the unfairness of it. People pay huge amounts of money to live in these places, and then and they get no benefit for it. It's a little bit like being at the drugstore, and you're getting ready to pay some robot for all of your groceries, and then some dude runs out the door with all of his stuff for free. You're like, what kind of a chump am I?
Yeah.
And the company that allows that to happen is mocking those of us who are stupidly sitting there arguing with the robot machine to pay for your goods.
It's a cashier. It's about
Self-checkout.
Self-checkout.
Harold, so these 1,200 homes are taken by squatters, but for some reason, homeowners have limited rights in reclaiming their property. Can you explain this succinctly?
It's wrong.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see them doing what they're doing. I think every mayor and governor, and for that matter, every politician, but particularly executives, have to ask a question about your city or about your state, about policies to correct things. Are the things you're doing being done to enhance the community you live or erode the community you live in? And it's good that the Georgia legislature decided to do something to try to enhance. I felt for that St. Louis Homeowner Association fellow who said, look, I don't think it was not a political statement. It was a statement about humanity. You don't clean things up just because politicians are coming. I don't care if they're Democrat or Republican or you got a nice house guest coming. You should clean it up for everybody. No one should have the value of their property diminished because of that. Greg, you've been an outspoken advocate. This is like the Greg Gutfeld Policy Day because I think your Value and Accountability Act you want to do with education could be done here as well. There are states and cities that are doing incredible things to get homeless people, to give them dignity and opportunity, and then more importantly, clean up our streets. The state of Utah, which is not a Democratic bastion, has decided to help provide housing and to help provide opportunity for people to support themselves, to pay for that housing, private housing for many homeless in their communities. They may not have the scale we have in New York or Chicago or Los Angeles, but there got to be things that we can draw from these successes to ensure that no one is confronted with what that St. Louis homeowner is confronted with, and for that matter, any of us are confronted with.
Judge, I think we found Kamala's secret weapon. She gets the streets clean. Just send her to different cities and tell her she's doing something important.
Yeah, we could send her with the garbage men. She could do the pickup every week. It'd be great. Look, you know what? This isn't necessarily about people who need housing, okay? If you become a squatter in someone else's house and you create a strip club, I imagine that you really didn't need the housing. You're just trying to make some extra cash.
The homeless people. I agree with you 100% about that.
Okay,
100%.
so let's get this straight. So it normally takes 6 months to a year to get someone evicted from your house that you own, that you pay the mortgage on. And by the way, you're not forgiven the mortgage payment, the rent, or anything else if there's a squatter in there. So let's talk about the fact that this all began with tenants' rights. Landlords have no rights. Whether you're in New Jersey or you're in New York, forget it. You have no rights. It takes a year to get someone out, okay? Now, in this particular case, in St. Louis, I think it is, they want to charge you with a misdemeanor and a fine. Hogwash. If somebody breaks into your house, that is a felony. That is a burglary. In New York, you face 7 years. If they break into my house and live in it, it at the very least is a burglary, and I want 7 years. A burglary, felony, I don't want a misdemeanor. That's number 2. Now, think about it. Everybody out there, have you ever tried to repave your driveway? You ever tried to put a mailbox at the end of your driveway? Ever tried to put a light at the end of your house? If I try to add a foot to the wall in front of my house, it's against code. You can't do it. But if someone comes up and decides they want to pitch a tent in front of my house and they're squatters and we can't move them out, they can start cooking, the smells they can throw out the garbage on the street, the rats can come out, they can poop in the sewer and more rats will come out. This is absurd. I'm sick of it. And 1,200 houses in Atlanta, they've got squatters in them. You know why? Fannie Willis is too busy hanging out with Wade and going on 6 vacations in 5 months.
What about the horse?
You know, Dana, you have tons of homeless pitching tents outside your apartment. Also, they live out there. What do you make of all this?
Well, I like this guy in the article from Fox 5 Atlanta. He said nothing good ever happens in an empty house. And well, you kind of can't believe that this is allowed, that it's legal. But in my research, it's Oregon, Illinois, St. Louis, Georgia, Denver. I'm like, okay, wait, so this is everywhere? And if I were Kamala Harris, I would absolutely say, if I'm going somewhere to raise millions of dollars for our campaign, I'm coming to your city, don't clean it up.
That's right.
Because it looks really bad on her. And if you want to solve problems and you need to show that you can solve some problems, I would do that. The other thing is this really hurts people who are trying to climb the ladder, right? So legal immigrants who have come to this country, one of the ways that they get a foothold on the wealth ladder is to invest in property. And they save and they live very simply and they get a property like this. And the Democratic mayors of these cities are not doing anything to protect these legal immigrants and mom and pops that have figured out a way to have just a little bit of a nest egg by providing housing to people, and you're going to let the squatters take it. I really commend Lawrence Jones. He did a big piece on this 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, gave it a lot of attention, and now they're moving. So that's amazing.
I guess they're right that Kamala has sweeping powers.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.